know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rick, relax. We've already had our money's worth just seeing you. What? You're a legend. Shut up. Why is he... I'm not a god. Why is that? I'm just an ordinary guy, you know, going around talking to people. Sort of like Jesus. In a way, but better. Well, I've actually turned up. So humanity. What is humanity? What are we? Well, we've touched upon it there. We're great apes. Not metaphorically, we're literally great apes. We are 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee. We're closer to chimps than chimps are to gorillas. We left our common ancestor about 6 million years ago. We have the same life cycle as any other animal, which is our parents mate, we're born, we grow, we mate, our parents die, all our friends die, and then we die. Now, my 7-year-old niece didn't like hearing that, right? But I said, you've got to look. I said, stop crying. I said, you're 7, you know, today. So... any more grisly and this party's cancelled. So let's take the first of those, right? Birth. It's already an odd one for humanity because the human being is born before the end of its natural gestation period. And by that, I mean, because of our evolution, our brain is so big, we have to get that huge head out early. That's why the skull is in parts and supple, right? And then we have to carry on gestating outside the womb. That's why we're so useless. Compare us to other mammals, right? A giraffe is walking along, it goes, oh, I'm proper pregnant, right? I'm gonna have a baby giraffe right here, right? Yeah. There it is. See you later, right? And the baby goes, Mum, can I get a... It's got to be fucking ready, right? We're helpless, right? Just think of that, right? 9 months, we're just growing in this perfect environment, just like that. Just everything's... It's like being a little Kate Bush video, right? And then suddenly, and you're being squeezed out of an hole near an arse. You're covered in shit, they're screaming, you go, I can't breathe. Someone goes, yes, you fucking can, right? That's the first 1 second of life on Earth. You don't know where you are, you can't choose where you're born. I was born in a place called Whitley Estate in Reading, right? Yeah, no, I wouldn't have chosen that. I'd have chosen Hampstead. I did choose Hampstead, it just took me 45 years to be able to afford it, right? Very different, my upbringing, you know, to how I live now. I know I live a privileged life now. Hampstead's ridiculous. Oh, it's a rarefied place, right? It's just like the grandchildren of poets and painters and me, new money, right? But growing up, it was tough. I don't know what it's like now, but in my day, my estate was really sort of rough and scary. It felt like wildlife. I was weak and vulnerable, right? And there was danger around every corner. The school I went to was on my street, and I ran there every day so I didn't get mugged or molested. And there weren't a lot of paedophiles in Reading because the murderers had killed a lot of them, but there was still a couple, right? I moved to Hampstead. Oh, my God, there's no crime. I saw a knife once in Hampstead. It was a palette knife. Just a bloke just painting, oil painting, in the middle of the street, broad daylight. No one was gobbing on it or calling him Bender. It was weird, right? So, I know my life has changed drastically, but it wasn't always like that. And the reason I'm telling you this, as a famous person, you sort of read about yourself, you know, gossip and, you know, Twitter and everything. And one thing kept cropping up, even when I was preparing for this tour, people saying, oh, he's out of touch. He's so famous, he's rich, he's mega rich. I am. I could have this place burned down for a laugh. No, but they say things like, oh, he's an observational comedian. How can he say things that relate to ordinary scum? And I say, don't call them scum, right? But the world is getting worse, and I blame the beginning of its demise on social media. Because Twitter and Facebook, that's where this ridiculous notion bred, right, and became stable, that it was more important to be popular than right. right? Everything was like me, agree with me. It falls into two tribes. Oh, I don't agree with them, so I'd block them, right? And now in this post-truth era, people don't care about the argument. They don't look at the argument. They say, who's saying the argument? No, they're not on our side, right? It's ludicrous, okay? And it also bred this ridiculous notion. We've always had my opinion is worth as much as your opinion. But now we've got my opinion is worth as much as your fact, which is nonsense. I get tweets from people saying, well, I believe the earth is 6,000 years old. Well, I believe you're a fucking idiot then, right? You can't have an opinion on the age of the earth, right? You can have your own opinions, but you can't have your own facts, right? But it was all about being popular, right? And even politicians picked up those symptoms. Politicians tweet now, they want to be popular. We had a referendum about Brexit because they were passing the buck. They didn't want to make a mistake. So, and the other thing is this ridiculous thing of, oh, let's ask the average person what they think. Let's stop asking the average person what they... Do you know how fucking stupid the average person is? We still sell bottles of bleach with big labels on that say, do not drink, right? Let's take those labels off, right? For 2 years, and then have a referendum. But it's not just politicians, even real news. The news on TV says things like, well, tweet us your news. No, don't let them tweet you the news. I saw Tyrannosaurus Rex, you liar, right? There was a big news story last year, right? It was about a terrible train crash. Now, the train crash had happened about a year before, and there was a big inquiry. And the results of the inquiry were published this day, and so there was an expert on the news, and he was saying, well, we've looked at everything, and we've decided that the speed of the trains on this particular line were a contributing factor to the accident, so we're going to slow them down a little bit, and statistically speaking, this should never happen again, right? That should have been the end of it. But the guy went, wow, we went out and asked the general public what they thought. So then there was 3 banal vox pops. The first one said, well, I already pay £960 a year, so I'm not happy, right? And the next one said, well, it takes me 45 minutes each way, so it's not good enough, right? And the last one said, well, I always say, it's better to arrive at work late than dead. Why is that on the news? And when is that applicable in any situation? You know what I mean? Go, all right, Ted, you're in early. Ted? Oh, Ted. We've been through this. Remember I said I'd rather you arrive late than dead? But the big enemy is stupidity, right? I want to share with you the most stupid tweet I ever got, I think. All right. Now, admittedly, when I first got on Twitter, I pushed my agenda a little bit. I was an outspoken atheist, not because I thought I'd change anyone's opinions, but because I thought it was important to tell the other side, you know. There are still 13 countries where people are put to death just for being an atheist, and there's people bullied, and I just wanted to say, it's fine to be an atheist, it's fine to believe in God, and it's fine not to. That's all I was saying, really. And then I realised I didn't even have to tweet about religion or atheism. I could just tweet a fact, and that annoyed just the right people, right? I tweet things like, happy birthday, Earth, 4.6 billion years old today. And someone would always go, oh, we know what you're fucking doing, we know what you're doing, right? So, this is a tweet I got from someone after one of those, I assume, right? And it was all in capitals, which excited me. That's the sign of Twitter madness, mixed with anger. It's great, right? And I looked at his profile, and sure enough, he's a gentleman from Texas. He's a fundamentalist, creationist, Christian, right? Which is fine. He loves God. He loves God and fetuses, mainly. He loves the fetus from conception to when it turns out gay. And then he's... Right, so remember it's all in capitals. He's shouting at me, right? Best tweet ever, right? Your science, my science, right? Science, by the way, is spelled S-C-I-E-N-T-S. Already good, isn't it? I mean, he's obviously heard the word. He took a guess. never seen it written down because it's not in the Bible. So your science won't help you. Well, it will. It's helping him beam this little message up to a satellite and down to me. Your science won't help you when Satan, of course he believes in Satan. Why wouldn't he? He believes that God made the universe in 6 days. You're not going to say to him, do you believe in Satan? And he's going to say, bit far-fetched. Why doesn't God kill Satan? That's what I'd ask him. If I was wrong and I met God and I go, oh, you do exist. He'd go, yeah. I go, well, in which case, I've got a few fucking questions, mate. In fact, the first one would be, why did you make chocolate kill dogs? What's mental? Also, if you hate homosexuality so much, why did you put the male G-spot up the arse? What is wrong with you? Then I'd say, why don't you kill Satan? And he'd go, what? I go, why don't you kill Satan? If he does all the bad stuff and you do all the good stuff, yeah, and you want good stuff, yes, yeah. I mean, you do want, yes, yeah. And you could kill him, couldn't you, if you wanted? Yes, because you can do anything easy, yeah. Why don't you kill him then? Because, shut up. Your science won't help you when Satan is raping your British ass. And he's got a point. Because if I die and I find myself in hell being raped by Satan, science has pretty much let me down. But it's this last line that he just throws away. This line that he signs off with makes this the best tweet I've ever received, right? Your science won't help you when Satan is raping your British ass. I'll be laughing. So he's there too. So he's a fundamentalist Christian who's lived his life by the Old and New Testament. He dies, he wakes up in hell, right? Which must be off the charts on the scale of emotional trauma for a Christian. You want to go, oh my God, I'm in hell. Oh my God, why have you forsaken me? I'm in hell, it's the worst place. No, it's for eternity. I'm going to be tortured for eternity. He sees me getting raped, goes, what, he's suddenly over it, is he? His day suddenly got a little bit brighter, right? And like he's not next, right? So he says, I'm getting raped, right, by the devil, right? And he's just there, you fucking atheist scum, right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, right? Because I mean, I assume it happens it's like an eternity, so I'm, yeah, whatever, go on your fear. I might say, watch your hooves on my testicles, And he'll go, why are they so distended? And I go, oh, like you're Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? Sorry, are we talking or raping here? Can we? So he's like, you fucking atheist. He's probably bored, and he's fucking atheist every fucking day, like that, right? And his little gargoyle comes up and he goes, Satan. And he goes, what? And I go, yeah, what? And he goes, there's a fundamentalist Christian up here. Fuck this. He'd be on him like a ton of bricks, wouldn't he? So I got that tweet. I loved it. And all I did was retweet, right? And just watch the fun. People piling on, going, loser, and all this. And he's fighting back really witlessly, saying things like, go fuck your sister, you English faggot. That makes no sense at all. And I forgot about it, went off, did something, came back. A few hours later on Twitter again, I think, oh, what's happening there, right? And it's still all going off, right? It's really funny. I'm laughing at all the replies, like people saying things to him, right? I'm scrolling down. There's one tweet just directly to me from this woman. She says, What, you find rape funny? No. What? No. What? Ricky Gervais finds rape funny? No. Listen, what? Ricky Gervais finds rape funny? No. Listen, everyone. Listen. Right? No. Right? So I said to her, no, I didn't tweet that. She went, no, you retweeted it. I went, well, yeah, just to show you he's an idiot. I just showed her, well, yeah, but you must find it funny. You must find it amusing. It's not, no, it's not a frivolous thing to be laughing. I said, well, no, I just, so I said, well, it's up to him, isn't it? They go, well, not really. So I said, well, it is up to him. He can do it. So now I'm arguing with quite a nice, sane person, presumably, who thinks this sort of thing's mental. But I'm fighting for his right to fantasize about me being raped by the devil. Right? Because I'm so conscious of freedom of speech. What a topsy-turvy world, right? Although her opening gambit annoyed me a little bit as well, because she did that thing that people do. She said, she didn't say, what, you find jokes about rape funny. She said, what, you find rape funny? And the answer to that is no, of course not. No one finds rape funny. Not even rapists find rape funny. Do you know what I mean? There's never been anyone giving evidence going, well, it was dark and he was wearing a ski mask and he was giggling. That's never... So I sent back, do you mean jokes about rape? She said, yes. I went, depends on the joke. Fucking does. No, it does. I was going, no, it does. It does. Depends on the joke. I said, of course it does. It's about context. It's about the content, right? I said, what do you mean by a rape joke? And she said, even a joke with the word rape in it is unacceptable. I said, that's ridiculous. It depends what the joke is. I said, and I tweeted that clip of me in the office going, I think there's been a rape up there. Right? And everyone gets that because of the context. And the target is a middle-aged man who's so narcissistic, he'll say the most horrendous thing to get attention to win a silly game. So you have to understand the joke and where it's going and where it comes from. And I said, some jokes don't punch up or down. They don't punch anywhere. They can just be a little pun, a silly play on words that don't really mean anything, right? And the example I gave was a joke that went around when I was a kid. Even adults told it, right? I tell you, it was a woman goes running into a police station. She says, help, I've been raped. And the policeman says, do you mean raped? She says, no, there was a bunch of them. Right? That is a rape joke, right? So, and I even said to her, I said, no, I agree in most, real rape jokes. Rape jokes where they're fucking horrible and the victim is the target. They're disgusting. I'd never tell those. But it depends on the joke, not the word or the subject, right? And I think I calmed it down. I said, and they agreed, yeah, some jokes are worse than others, right? And she ended it with saying, well, okay, I see your point, but still, I will laugh at a joke with the word rape in it when I know that no one in the audience has been raped, right? I should have left it. I just sent back, what a weird door policy. It's rubbing salt in the wound, isn't it? You turn up to a comedy gig, you pay your money, then someone says, oh, before you go in, love, can I just ask you a question? Yeah. Have you ever been raped? I have, yes. You can't come in. What? Why? There's a lady who says she won't laugh if you're in. Come on, off you go, right? I've always wanted people to know they can laugh at bad things without being bad people. And I think it's my upbringing. As I say, I grew up in poverty with nothing, right? But the point was to pay your way, then have a laugh. That was the men. The women carried on working, obviously. But it was my older brother, Bob, who was about 11 years older than me, and it was him who I first saw making these dark jokes right in the bad situation. While the bad things were happening, he was making jokes about it, and people were laughing, and I realised, oh, he's healing them. That's what comedy's for. That's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff, right? Typical Bob story. He once spent an hour in the pound shop in Hayling Island just asking the cashier how much everything was. Just to see if he could break this poor man's will. Right? And Bob was the first person I saw answer back to authority, and the first authority you come across are your parents, right? And he'd have an argument, he'd get in trouble, he'd get sent to bed, right? But I thought, no, he won the argument though, right? And he teased my mum, and so my mum was a typical working class woman, I think, in that, as I say, we lived in a shitty area, right? And most of the houses had like a bit of mud and a stolen bike and fence post missing. She mended the fence, she turfed the garden herself, she painted the step, because she thought if it looked respectable, we'd be respectable. So it was about reputation, I guess. And so Bob would send her postcards that just read, "Is that paedophile postman still reading your mail?" And she'd take it and she'd go in and she'd be horrified and she'd call Bob and go, "Bob, he saw it this time, you've got to stop doing that." Even at her funeral, my mum died first and my dad carried on for a year or so, just drinking beer in the garden, and he went, right? But for my mum's funeral, we sort of split up into different duties. I went and did sort of catering and flowers, and Bob went to see the local vicar. That was a mistake, right? We'd never been to church. He didn't know us. We didn't know him. So he just said to Bob, "Tell me about your mum so I can say a few words." And Bob saw that as an opportunity, right? So Bob, with a straight face, said to him, "Well, she was a keen racist." And the vicar went, "Oh, I can't say that." Bob went, "Okay, but she liked gardening," right? And he was trying to get something past the vicar, so the vicar would say something and make us laugh in church. He didn't warn us, right? And he did get something by the vicar. So we're called Ricky, Robert, Bob, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Larry. Now, Larry is the oldest. He's in his 70s, born in the war, right? I've always thought he was the sensible one, okay? I suppose firstborn, weight of the world on his shoulders. In fact, my mum told me that when he was a teenager, he got a job and he gave her the money to bring up the rest of us to help out, right? So he's a stand-up guy, Larry, right? So Bob gives the vicar the wrong name. Didn't warn us. We're all in church, right? Start of the funeral, we're all there, right? Packed out, right? The coffin comes down, guided by the vicar, the coffin gets out. The vicar goes to his pulpit, all confident with his little notes, right? And he goes, "Eva leaves behind 4 loving children, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Barry." And we snort like that, right? Bob sort of goes, everyone realised what's that. We were all fucking laughing. We see Larry go, right? And the church is like, every time we thought of it, people would we'd see Larry go, right. And then it would just start giggling, just fits and fucking giggles, right? And then Larry eventually sort of started doing this, right? And the vicar's thinking, what have I said, right? And he put in a few little things that the vicar wouldn't know about that he said would set us off again, just things that were just lies or just slightly wrong. And my niece and nephew started crying, and I'd come prepared, right, with a little packet of those tissues. I was giving them those, and they were taking one and handing it on. But before the funeral, I'd taken all the tissues out, written on them, carefully folded them back and put them in. So they were pulling out a tissue and it said, "Snivelling fucking bitch," right? And they're sort of laughing, right? So it was like a madhouse, right? Everything the vicar said or did, we all started just fucking laughing, right? And you could see the vicar was visibly sort of shook a little bit, right? And he ended the funeral and he made a beeline over for me and Bob, right? And he came and said, "Sorry, was that okay?" And me and Bob went, "It was fucking brilliant, mate. It was fucking brilliant, mate." And that's what I'm talking about. We're all going to die. So we should have a laugh, because if you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof, okay? And me and my brother Bob had one simple rule, and that was, if you think of something funny, you've got to say it, right? Win, lose, or draw, right? It might go well. It might go badly, but you've got to say it. And bear that in mind as I leave you with this. Right. So, we're all in the car one day, right? Bob's driving, we're packed in this car, going for a little day trip to the beach, right? And we get stopped, a little security check, right? And there's a British Bobby there, like that, and he just stops the car. Bob winds down the window, he said, "Where are we off to then?" Bob went, "Bognor." Right? He went, "Can you just pop the boot, please?" So he looks there, looks in the boot like that, yeah, like, goes back up to Bob's window. gets that mirror on a stick thing, and he starts just looking under the car like that. And as he does that, his helmet falls off, right? And out of the helmet falls a packet of 20 cigarettes. And the copper just went, oh, I bet you've always wondered what we kept under our helmets. And Bob went, I knew it wasn't fucking brains. So, I've learnt my lesson. No, I have learnt my lesson, and that's why I'm going to be woke from now on. It's about time. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I am woke, and now I'm woke. The first thing I've got to do is change my Twitter bio. Because at the moment, it's like a list of the shows I've created. But now I'm woke, I've got to pop in the word anti-fascist. So people know I'm not a fascist. Because that is a big problem at the moment. People come up to me on the street and they go, Rick, have you been imprisoning journalists? I go, no. They go, oh, interesting. They go, have you been gassing Jews? I go, no. They go, well, pop it in your bio then, you silly cunt. So, yeah, I'm not a fascist. It's an odd thing to just declare, isn't it, that you're not a fascist? We assume, don't we? You wouldn't go up to someone on the street and do that, would you? And go and say, oh, by the way, I'm not a fascist. You know, it's like they protest too much. It's like going into a school and going, I'm not a pedo, so just forget I even mentioned it. So these kids are safe running around me. They can run around naked for all I care. I'm not a pedo, so... Of course, the word fascist has changed. Traditionally, the word fascist meant a member of a far-right authoritarian regime that uses militarism and violence to suppress individual rights. Now, the word fascist can mean liked a Joe Rogan tweet. So, words change, yeah? And that's part of the reason I'm going to become woke, is words change, and I don't want to be left behind, you know? I don't want to end up like my granddad in the 70s. Oh, he was all like, coloureds this and queers that. Oh. Although the word queer is all right again now. So if you wait long enough, it just goes full circle. Just be patient is my... So yeah, you can use the word queer. You still can't use it as a noun, only as an adjective. You can't go up to someone and go, you're a queer, but you can go, hear about Darren? He's queer now. If Darren is definitely bent, you can't go around just slagging off Darren willy-nilly. Do you know what I mean? You can get sued in this country for saying someone's gay if they're not, you know, which is a homophobic law, because you can't be sued the other way around. You can't be sued for saying someone's not gay if they are, which seems unfair, doesn't it? Like, I could go up to Britain's biggest gay and go, all right, Alton, all right, and he'd love that, he'd fucking love that. If that's your game, you want to be top of the pile, so to speak, right? I go, all right, Alton. You go, yeah. I go, ha, 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 you're not a gay. He'd go, I bloody am. He'd go, I'm going to sue you. I go, you can't. You can't. He'd go, but know that I am gay. I go, I don't believe you are. He'd go, well, come on with me and see the shit I do if you don't believe me. Of course, the word queer has changed. Again, traditionally, the word queer used to mean someone who was attracted to the same sex as themselves, a gay man. Right? Now, the word queer can mean a straight man who wants some attention. I'm all queer now. Are you? Yeah, I'm right queer now. I am. Are you? Yeah. What about your girlfriend? Yeah, she's queer and all. We're just two queers queering each other up. Suck a cock? Nah. No, didn't think so. I'm not that sort of queer. Oh, what sort of a queer are you? Dyed my hair blue. So did my grandmother, and she fucking loved cock, so what are we saying? I have no evidence for that. We never had that conversation. So this show is called Armageddon, and it's all about how I think humanity might end, because there's a long list of possibilities. You know, we're on a precipice, you know. It could be anything from global warming, the rise of the pandemic, you know, nuclear war, our own stupidity, basically. Because we are getting more stupid as a species, no doubt about that. You can now do a university degree course in Taylor Swift. How fucking low academically can you go? There's an institute in London called the School of Flower Arranging. I went past it, I couldn't believe it. School of Flower Arranging. I looked in, and there's people having lectures. Flower arranging. My mum used to pick flowers every day from the garden, cut flowers, put them in vases around the house. At no point did anyone come round and go, what unqualified cunt did these? Yeah, the earth is in a terrible mess, and it's my fault, my generation's fault, and the generation before, the boomers, with their deforestation and their fossil fuels, ruining the ozone layer, raising the temperature by a few degrees, so parasites, you know, bacteria, and these zootropic pandemics are just going to get worse and worse. Like, if you're 20 years old now, you're going to have a very different middle age to me. I've had the best 60 years of civilization, right? But if you're 20 now, in 40 years' time, you're going to be in your house wearing a mask, crying. Like you do now over jokes. And I'm not going to be around to see that, but I am going to spend my entire fortune from now on private jets to make sure it definitely fucking happens. We're going to be the first generation that future generations are jealous of, right? Because we had it all, and we're using it all up. We're using up all the fresh water. We're using up all the fossil fuel, right? Usually you look back in history and you feel sorry for it. You go, oh, how did they live like that? Oh, how did they get around? No indoor toilets. I've got 9 toilets in my house. And sometimes I just run around flushing them for a laugh. Like that. Just so that in 40 years' time, Greta Thunberg has to shit out of a window. And who cares? If humanity was wiped out today, the earth would return to a paradise in a few hundred years. If we lose bees, we're a desert forever. We're not that important. We're just one species of narcissistic ape. And some people on social media get annoyed when I say we're apes, you know, religious types, Americans. One bloke said to me, speak for yourself, dude, I ain't no ape. And I sent back, well, you are, because we're all apes. He went, nah, what's a gorilla ever done? We've walked on the moon. I sent back, what do you mean we? You've done fuck all. You've spelt moon wrong. It's weird, isn't it, when people take credit for the sort of rest of the species, because that's what's pushed civilization forward, you know, a few geniuses along the way. Like, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Most of us do nothing. We eat shit and die. Like, if there was a meteor heading towards Earth to definitely destroy it, 4 billion people would get down on their knees and pray to their particular god, and a few hundred scientists would work out how to get Bruce Willis up there to stop it. It's an odd concept, praying, for me. I can't work out how God decides. All those people praying at once for different things. Is it like best idea wins? Or is it a democracy? Like he puts things at each issue, he goes, right, votes for and against, you know. If it's a democracy, we're in trouble. We're a tiny nation. Like, next time there's a flood warning in the West Country, if we're all going, oh, I hope everyone's okay. If the whole of China is going, yeah, fuck Bristol. There's a billion of them. More about China later. Yeah, I've always found praying quite strange. Like, if I bump into a friend or neighbour and I know they've got a little kid, and I go, oh, how's so-and-so? And they go, oh, not good. He's in intensive care. We don't know if he's going to pull through, but I pray every night. What I do, as an experiment, I go home and I pray twice that he doesn't make it. I don't do that. On a serious note, I've been doing a lot of video messages recently for terminally ill children, and only if they request it, obviously. I don't burst into hospitals and go, "Wake up, Baldy." Look, me twerking on TikTok. Look. No, I did a lot through the pandemic, presumably because they couldn't even see their own family. And it's through Make-A-Wish Foundation. Do you know the charity Make-A-Wish Foundation? They're great, and they give these dying kids their like one wish. And if it's me, I always say yes. And I always start the video the same way. I go, "Why didn't you wish to get better?" What, you fucking retarded as well? I don't do that either, okay? These are all jokes, all right? I don't even use that word in real life, the R word. You just used it, Rick. Yeah, in a joke. That's not real life, is it? I'm playing a role. You sounded pretty convincing. Yeah, because I'm good. You wouldn't level that accusation at other art forms. You wouldn't go up to Sir Anthony Hopkins and go, "Oh, I saw you in Silence the Lambs. You a cannibal, are you?" No, I was playing a role. Oh, seemed pretty convincing. Yeah. It's good. And I'm good, and that's why I do things well. Imagine if I came at her and did things not very well, so you knew I was joking. That'd be fucking retarded. It's very sad. But we all die. We all know we're going to die, and we all do die, so it doesn't really matter if we die one at a time along the way or all at once in one big final Armageddon. The result is we're all going to be dead one day, and we're all going to be dead forever. And I've been to a lot of funerals in my time. You live this long, you know a lot of people, they die, right? And I don't mind funerals because it's the end. You know what I mean? I hate weddings. Oh, fucking hell. There's so much hope. You know what I mean? And they're needy and arrogant. It's out. They go, "Oh, we're getting. Do you want to come and watch us for 12 hours? No, fuck no." Even the invite is arrogant, isn't it? It's like a royal decree. You are cordially invited. It's not a fucking honour. I don't want to go to your shitty wedding. Do you know what I mean? And then you go, "Oh, right, yeah. When is it?" And they go, 2 years' time. They know you haven't got an excuse for 2 years' time. So you just have to hope that one of them dies. You know what I mean? And so you go, "Oh yeah, I'll be there, yeah, where is it?" And they go, "India." "Oh, fuck off. I'm not having injections for you, you boring bastards." And I've got a big family now, a big extended family, and there's always one of them getting married, and they know I've got a bit of cash, so I can't give them a tea set anymore. I've got to get them their first fucking house. You know what I mean? I've got a big family because I had older brothers and sisters, and they all had loads of kids, and their kids have had loads of kids, and their kids have had loads of kids, because we're chavs, basically. There's a new baby every Christmas. It's one of those families. You know what I mean? I go home, it's crowded. I go, oh, who's this? That? Oh, yours? Oh, well done. I don't know him, I don't know her. You know what I mean? It's like, but what I've done over the last couple of years, I've got them each individually, right, in private, and I've told them that I'm leaving my entire fortune to just them, right? But to keep it secret. So they all love me, right? And I'm not doing a will, so my funeral is going to be a fucking bloodbath. I'm at that age now where people ask me what I've got planned for my funeral. Even journalists say, "Oh, what's your funeral?" I go, "I don't know, I haven't planned it." No, I go, "No, it's fucking depressing. Also, I don't care. I'll be dead." They go, "Don't care about what people think of you." "No, I'll be dead." They go, "What about your legacy?" Fuck my legacy. You can't plan your legacy. I think of all these people who died thinking they'd be loved forever. Eminent people going, "There is a statue of me in the town square." And now they're pulling down the statues, aren't they? Going, "Pull down this fucking statue." Why? He was a slave trader. Pull down the fucking statue. He built the hospital. Should we pull that down? No, leave the hospital. Leave the hospital. Just pull down the fucking statue. Pull down the statue and dump it in the canal. He built the canal as well. It doesn't matter, just pull down the fucking statue. I don't think you should whitewash history. If you find out something new, add to it. Like if there's a statue and it's got Lord Whimsy, trader, philanthropist, add bit racist. Or one of those blue plaques on a house, go, "Sir Robert Spuke lived here. Author, poet, pedo." I think we live too long. That's why we have time to worry about all this. We're not meant to live this long. As a species, we're about 300,000 years old as Homo sapiens. We've been around as hominids for a few million years. And of course, along with every other life form that exists at the moment, we've been evolving for 3.5 billion years. Everything that exists at the moment all came from the same little blob of organic matter 3.5 billion years ago. That's why it annoys me when people say, oh yeah, humans, we're the most evolved. We're not the most evolved. We're no more evolved than the slug or the snail. People go, oh, come on, look at them. Yeah, they got it right early doors. Nature keeps testing them. Do you want eyes? No. Not really. No. I have noticed one thing about the slug and the snail. Let's not split hairs, let's be honest. The snail is basically a slug with a shell on it, isn't it, right? But if you pull the shell off the snail, it starts giving it all, oh, I'm dying. And the slug is like, welcome to the real world, cunt. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've been around for about 300,000 years. And for most of that time, we had the same life expectancy as every other wild ape, 35, 40, if you're lucky. You're born, you grow, you mate, you're playing with your kids, you get a cut, you go, oh, what's that, dead? Right? But now with antibiotics and medicine, we've pushed that forward. A child born today can expect to live to about 100. And scientists said soon that'll be 120. And science also said that in the near future, there's no reason with proper care and attention that human beings won't regularly live to 150 years old, which is amazing until you remember that we get a set number of brain cells, right? Which we only lose. You can't get them back. So in the future, there's going to be 15 billion people on the planet, you know. Half of them are going to be over 100, and they're all going to have Alzheimer's. It's going to be like Dawn of the Dead. It's going to be fucking horrible. You know? My auntie died of Alzheimer's. I don't know how you die of Alzheimer's. She forgot to live. Right? And for the last couple of years, she was in her home, and my cousin, her only kid, used to visit her like once a week, and it got more and more depressing because soon she didn't recognise him, and then she didn't know who she was, or and then she died. And at the funeral, we were sort of reminiscing about the good days, some of the funny, absent-minded things she said and did, and we realised, oh, probably that was the beginning of the disease before it was diagnosed. And this is a true story. Once, my cousin went home from work, and he went in, and she went, your tea's in the oven, I've had mine already. He went, oh, cheers, Mum. And it was like a fish pie, right? He ate the fish pie, and he went, oh, God. And he ran upstairs, vomited, went back down and went, Mum, the fish is off, I've just been really sick. And she said, yeah, it made me really sick. I've been looking into infant mortality rates recently. For research, it's not a fucking fetish. Like, a child born today in the UK has a percentage chance of survival of 99.8%, which is incredible. I thought, is that just the mollycoddled West? And I was putting in third world countries. And even in Africa, it's like 96.5%. In the wilds of Africa, where everything wants to fucking eat a newborn baby, babies are vulnerable enough, aren't they? In Africa, a baby can be born in a mud hut. There's a lion outside. It's covered in blood because they can't wash it. They've got no water. Oh, and it's already got AIDS. Now, by the time that joke goes on Netflix, it'll be nuanced. There'll be an underlying satirical point, I'll claim. But until then, all I've got is, baby's got AIDS. I know that it's funny. I just have to work out why. Leave it with me. Leave it with me. Also, by the time that goes on Netflix, I'd have been playing arenas around the world. It'll be hitting hard, people will be laughing. So if you are an African woman and you just had a baby in Africa, and the doctor goes, oh, I'm sorry, your baby's got AIDS. You go, oh my God, you're there. You know, a little baby's got, you're there with your husband, and you go, oh, our baby's got AIDS, Jeff. Jeff. I know, Tracy, I'm gutted too, darling. Our baby's got AIDS. Oh, Should we watch some comedy to cheer us up? Yeah. What, Netflix? Yeah. What, Ricky Gervais? Duh. Yeah. And they're sad that their baby's got AIDS, but they're sort of laughing along. Armageddon, And he gets to that bit, baby's got AIDS. And she goes, oh my God, Jeff, what? Why are they all laughing at us and our baby with AIDS? And Jeff goes, well, they're not laughing at us per se. She goes, well, they are. They've named us and everything. They're literally laughing at us in this bit. And Jeff goes, yeah, but we're a fictional couple with a fictional baby with AIDS. Anyone offended by that is a fucking moron. And then he goes, and at least he didn't do the accent. So... And then she goes, yeah, but only because Jane begged him not to. It's funny because it's true. Oh, I miss the local pedo. Don't you? There was always one, wasn't there? Outside the school, you'd be with your mum and she'd go, look, there's a paedophile. Because he had the uniform of the pedo. You know what I mean? You could spot, old bloke, bald on top, long down the side, like that. And I'll go, that's a dirty pedo. Say hello, 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 like that. Dirty, look, that's what a fucking pedo looks like. Dirty fucking paedophile, right? That's what they look. If he touches you, we'll burn his house down. It was a good system, you know what I mean? But then Michael Jackson comes along and he breaks the mould, doesn't he? Because he's not an ugly bloke outside the school. I'm not saying Michael Jackson definitely was a paedophile. No one knows, only Michael and all those people he paid off. All I'm saying is that kids loved Michael. Kids loved Michael just to look at him, like a little Disney cartoon, wasn't he? And then his voice, hello, you know, that... Michael Jackson got up to any kid he wanted. Probably not like that, didn't he? Probably like that. That's another thing. Kids would go, there's Michael Jackson, but he's going away from us. He wasn't, he was going towards them. But people don't care, because he's so good, right? He's so good. He's so popular as well. I think if he'd have lived to stand trial, he'd have beaten the rap, because everyone loves him. And he'd be so vulnerable in court as well, wouldn't he? He'd be there like that, and the judge would go, Michael, did you fiddle all those kids? And he'd go, hee hee. Judge would go, Cased it, get out of here, you scam. Go on. I promised you more about China, and this is an amazing statistic, okay? This is true, look it up, right? In China, there are 10 million Chinese paedophiles. 10 million Chinese paedophiles in China, and there's not enough kids. Because they've been restricting the birth. There's all these poor pedos, and they're going, where's all the fucking kids? Like, you know... Fuck me, we're having to double up here, and I just thought of a joke then, I can't do it. It is actually too offensive. Okay, all right, I'll do it. But remember, you can't choose your own thoughts, okay? And I just had this thought, right? Chinese paedophile. Goes up to a little Chinese kid, and he goes, do you want a puppy? And the kid goes, I'm not hungry. Cultural appropriation. Have you heard of that? Cultural appropriation, the latest no-no. Now, again, in my day, it was considered a good thing to swap ideas with other cultures, with other nations, to share things with other races, to assimilate. It was the opposite of racist. Now it's racist. Gwen Stefani got in trouble in her last video because she had her blonde hair in dreadlocks. People go, no, black people invented dreadlocks, you can't have them, you're white, that's racist. Jamie Oliver got in trouble when he put out authentic jerk chicken recipe. People go, no, black people invented that, you can't have it, you're white, that's racist. Now, black people, they use the N-word, don't they? We invented that. That's the one, isn't it? That's the one. Listen, I know white people are the worst. I know that. That's why no one likes a fucking white middle-aged man anymore until we need a boiler fixing. Then it's... Get the bald bloke round now. Critical race theory, have you heard of that? Being taught in schools now, particularly in trendy areas like LA, right? Just like 5-year-old kids and 6-year-old kids. If you haven't heard it, in a nutshell, critical race theory says that all white people are racist. So that we're born racist and we continue to be racist because we're affording the privilege of a racist society set up by our forefathers, okay? So basically, all white people are racist and there's nothing we can do about it, which is a relief. Some people don't think we evolved in the first place. Some people think that God made us all at once in one fell swoop and by himself. I think if he'd had a wife or a mate, there'd have been questions when he was working, wouldn't they? Be like, what are you doing? Creating man. Oh, what's it got? What do you mean, what's it got? Has it got like claws and fangs and shit? No, not really, no. Oh, has it got poison? No, no poison. Oh, has it got armor like spikes and shit? No, no armor. How will it survive? It's got the best brain in the animal kingdom. It'll work stuff out. It'll create weaponry to take down beasts 100 times mightier than itself. It'll wear their carcass through the Ice Age. It'll go through famine. It'll go through world wars. It'll eventually start getting scared of words. But for 10,000 generations, it'll be top dog. Oh. What are they? His testicles. Oh. What are they for? He keeps everything in there. His seed, his DNA. What's DNA? It's like a blueprint for life. It determines what you're like, what sex you are. How many sexes are there? 2. Also, that's where he keeps his testosterone, so he's fucking well hard, right? And if you take a finger and flick a testicle, he's fucked. He's absolutely fucked. He's throwing up, he's on the floor, he's out of the game, absolutely kippered. Why are you putting it on the outside? For a laugh, just for a laugh. Space travel, the last-ditch attempt. When we fuck this planet completely, can we leave its dying husk and move to a new one and start again? I don't think so. Not in my lifetime. Probably not in yours. You know, it's like the closest one, the only one viable, is Mars, and that's 9 months away on a rocket. Right? It's got no atmosphere, an average temperature of -70 degrees. How's this for irony? Scientists are working out whether they can detonate nuclear warheads in the crust to release the frozen water to cause an atmosphere and get a little bit of global warming going. I mean, I don't know. It's only billionaires have got enough money to waste on exploration. There's nothing out there, you know. It's like, now you can do space tourism. Have you heard of that? You can pay $150,000. They shoot you into space for an hour and you float around going, I'm in space. I mean, we're already in space. Earth is right in the fucking middle of space, right? It's the best bit of space there is. It's got car parks and cinemas. It's like there's nothing else to see. It's like living in London and going, I wonder what Coventry's like. You don't... But I'm optimistic. I am. I think people care about the planet deep down. I think it's just that most people on the planet don't realise that most people on the planet are destroying the planet. Most people don't realise that in my lifetime, we've wiped out 70% of all animal populations. And what's left en masse on the earth of animals is 36% human, 60% farm animals just to feed humans, and 4% wild now. People don't realise that we have to tear down entire rainforests, the lungs of the earth, just to grow grain, to feed these cows, to feed us. We steal grain from third world countries because they want hard currency. They can't even feed their own people. We take their grain, feed our cattle. Meat eaters. If you eat meat every day, if you gave up 1 day a week, we'd feed another 100 million people. But I think people care. It's out of sight, out of mind. Think of the animal that most people know, their dog. They love their dog. They wouldn't let anyone hurt their dog. And a dog is a cow, is a sheep, is a deer. People love their dog so much, they won't even watch a fictional thing where a dog gets hurt. And I get that. There's a website, it's a real website. It's called doesthedogdie.com, right? And it was set up because people would watch a film or a program with a dog in it, and something would happen to the dog, and they'd turn it off. It would ruin it for them. It would ruin their day, right? So this website was set up. You could go to it, you could put in any film or TV show and ask, does a dog die? And someone would answer you, no, or whatever. And it's become a thing for anyone's phobias. Anything you don't want to see in a film, you just look up the film and they answer your question, right? So I looked up one film on here, Schindler's List. Absolutely real. Schindler's List, doesthedogdie.com. Right? First question, does a dog die? No. Does a cat die? No. Are any animals abused? Someone answers, there is a chicken that's handled roughly, but otherwise unharmed. Now, I love animals more than anyone I know, but if I was Jewish, I'd be slightly offended by this avenue of questioning. Imagine that in real life. Imagine someone says, oh, yeah, my grandparents were murdered by the Nazis. You go, oh, what happened? Oh, they were dragged from their house and sent to the gas chamber. Oh, was a chicken hurt? What? But as I say, it's become, you can ask any question about anything. Someone says, is there child abuse? Is teeth damaged? Is there a hanging? Does someone struggle to breathe? Yeah. Well, yeah, yes. Someone says, does someone fall downstairs? Who's scared of slapstick? It's like... Anyway, so this website was founded in 2010, so it's run about 13 years, right? And the later questions start reflecting the times we live in now, and they get more and more fragile and narcissistic. These questions were asked this year. Check it out, Schindler's List, right? Someone says, are there any fat jokes? Would that make this worse? Well, imagine the real thing. Imagine I'm in a concentration camp, right? I'm naked, everyone around me is naked. We've got a commandant herding us towards a gas chamber, and he goes, move it, fatty, right? And I go, rude. No, that has ruined the whole experience, if I'm honest. Someone asks, is there hate speech? Yeah, there is. Suck it up, buttercup. Are there any man in a dress jokes? Very few jokes. If you've come to this film for a giggle, you're going to be very disappointed. But this one takes the biscuit for me. Remember, this is a movie set in the 1940s about arguably the worst atrocity in civilized human history. Check this out. Is someone misgendered? Fucking hell. This is quite sweet. Is there any anti-Semitism? Yeah. This is pretty much the mother load, right? Forget Kanye. This is off the fucking charts. Don't do that when you're talking about this. Fuck's sake. I was doing the graph. I was doing like that. This is off the charts. That's... Wouldn't things have been different if that was Hitler's salute? The whole thing would have been... He goes like, it's Hitler. Like, hiya. This is interesting. Does it have a sad ending? Right? Someone says yes, and then someone else says no. And I thought about it. No, but then I remembered, if you've seen the film, if you remember, when the story sort of ends, Spielberg then tacks on a real bit of footage where he gets real life descendants of people murdered in the Holocaust, and he films them coming into a Jewish cemetery, and they each leave a stone on the grave to represent their family members that were murdered, and it builds up, and it's very moving. And so I think I get the ambiguity. Does it have a sad ending? Yes, in the sense that 6 million Jews pointlessly lost their life, but no, in the sense there was still enough left over to build a little rockery. So... I asked one question myself on this. Is James Corden in it?
You're watching another episode of Religion is a Joke here on Stranger Bible. Ricky Gervais's Humanity and Armageddon specials aren't just comedy, they're intellectual wrecking balls, swinging straight through the flimsy facade of religion, leaving nothing but rubble and a few awkwardly silent prayers. After watching this hour of razor-sharp comedy, one thing becomes brutally clear. Religion isn't just wrong, it's a punchline that stopped being funny around the time we stopped burning witches. you realize God isn't some grand cosmic mystery. He's the ultimate absentee landlord. Science shows up with cancer-detecting dogs and AI that can write poetry, while prayer is still stuck on read for the last 2,000 years. Faith? It's not noble, it's intellectual surrender. Believing without evidence isn't devotion. It's refusing to grow up. And the punchline? Reality doesn't care what you feel is true. Spoiler alert, unicorns aren't real, and neither is divine intervention. Heaven and hell? They collapse under scrutiny, nothing more than cosmic extortion, invented by people who couldn't win an argument without threatening eternal torture. It's the original do what I say or else scam, and humanity fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And the real horror isn't divine wrath, it's human stupidity. AI, outrage mobs, and blind allegiance to ancient myths are what's actually driving us toward extinction. Turns out, the apocalypse won't be divine, it'll be a selfie stick malfunction. The final takeaway? Religion sells false hope, but stupidity is the only prophecy guaranteed to come true. And if history is any indication, we're right on schedule. To survive, humanity will need to shed its childish beliefs, stop waiting for divine saviors, and start trusting in each other, because the only salvation we'll ever find is the one we create ourselves. Thanks for watching Stranger Bible, where religion, comedy, and philosophy come together to liberate the mind, challenge belief, and remind us that sometimes religion really is a joke. Please remember to like and subscribe.